Rockstar just released their brand new bottom dollar bounties update for GTA Online, and there are more than 100 buffs, nerfs, hidden fixes, and secret changes that Rockstar didn't really tell you about within this update, and we will of course be uncovering them all here today. There's so much to go over, so let's get into it. We're first going to start by covering the absolute most important ones. I did see a bunch of comments yesterday about some of these things that Rockstar originally teased, but players had questions on if they actually took effect in game or not, and what exactly Rockstar ended up adjusting with this DLC. So jumping in, the latest update does bring a significant change to the salvage yard tow truck missions and how they work, with Rockstar adjusting the gameplay to what they said is balancing the overall experience. And so if you do the tow truck missions and you've been relying on them for quick cash, you might notice a cooldown now before starting a second tow truck mission. It's only a 5-minute cooldown, however, for some players, this may completely defeat the purpose of having a second salvage bay in their chop shop, because they're not really going to wait around for the cooldown to end before they start their second tow truck mission. Especially considering the cooldown now that's also 5 minutes on the new police dispatch work that you can do from your new or old police cruisers, it is clear that Rockstar is introducing all these cooldowns to discourage players from farming money. So for example, with the salvage yard, now they don't want you blowing up your tow truck to skip those longer tow truck missions that you may get where you have to drive several miles, and instead what players would do is they just blow up the tow truck, go back into their chop shop and start up another, and basically just gamble on the idea that the next mission that the game would give them would be much faster and take much less time to complete, thus saving them time in the long run. And so what sucks about this is whether your tow truck mission was successful and you brought a car back, or you just blow up your truck for you to skip the long drive and get a new car to collect, the game is going to give you that cooldown no matter what. In addition to that, we also have buff timers on solo player sell missions for the bunker and MC businesses. If you are a solo player, this is really good news. Rockstar has helped solo players with the challenges of managing their bunker and MC business sell missions. The timers for these missions have been increased by 50%, and so that's going to give solo players a much needed buffer to complete the sales without the stress of the tight deadlines before their deliveries fail. Now I do think that for all of us who are actually playing this game, it was less about not having enough time for these missions and more about the fact that we all didn't want to spend 30+ minutes delivering our MC business product around the map in slow post-op vans, or us needing to drive 3 insurgent pickup customs to 5 delivery locations one at a time for a bunker sale solo. It's good that we now have more time, because now those super challenging or absolutely impossible deliveries to make as a solo player are able to be successfully completed now, but that only solves part of the greater problem, and that's the fact that no players want to spend 30 minutes or now in some cases 45 minutes to deliver business product in slow vehicles. The vehicles or the amount of drop-off locations should have been limited or scaled by the amount of players helping you, versus Rockstar doing what they did, which was just a blanket time increase of 50% for these sales. Like, sure, yeah, we're winning now, but we do have to commit even more time to these jobs that none of us really wanted to do for this long in the first place. Next up, the Sparrow helicopter just got a lot tougher. With a 50% increase in health, this already nimble chopper is now better suited for those risky missions and getting in and out of tight spots even while under fire. So overall, this buff is definitely going to make it a more viable option both for the casual exploration and the casual players out there, because you can take harder landings, or it's also going to help you out in intense combat scenarios where people are shooting at you and you simply will blow up less and blow up less often, because now you can tank more damage. So overall, great change. You get enhanced survivability, and as you can see from my very rigorous and thorough testing here, this heli can tank way more bullets before starting to smoke. But not only that, you can also hit objects harder with the Sparrow skids, and it won't lose its health and start smoking right away, which is awesome to see. I know players have wanted other certain defensive and offensive buffs with this heli with this update, but honestly for me as a solo player, just having more health with this heli makes it a lot better, because I don't need to be so delicate while landing anymore, and that's going to speed up my daily grind. We also do have a same and similar health buff to the RM10 Bombushka, also getting a 50% health increase, and that's going to bolster its utility in combat and those transport missions. You know, it's definitely a flying fortress now because of that health buff, but honestly, it's still a bad vehicle overall just because of how slow it is, but at least it's better than before, than when it didn't have this 50% extra health now. In addition to those 4 changes, for those who enjoy the hustle of taxi work, your efforts will now be 3 times as rewarding. This update, bottom dollar bounties, does triple the payouts for all taxi work, and that makes it a very lucrative option for players looking to earn quicker cash, especially if they're a beginner player. Not that it's a huge meta way of making money now with the triple payouts, but just imagine now with the triple payouts during one weekly event where we're also going to get triple money on taxi work, that will be combined and stacked for a 9 times bonus compared to how it originally was, and that would actually be game changing. You guys can see in this gameplay in just 9 fairs I made over $35,000, which again isn't awful for a beginner player for 12 minutes of work. And again, for absolute beginners, it's much better than doing just the standard contact missions, that's for sure. Which, by the way, those have also received payout buffs, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. We need to talk about a few more changes here, like the snacks being refilled upon starting contact missions and heists. This is definitely a small but significant quality of life update, where now you save the time from having to go to a convenience store or go back to your agency, for example, before starting a job, because now your snack inventory will now automatically be refilled when you start those contact missions or those heists. And this is also just going to allow you to focus on planning and executing on your money grinding strategies more efficiently. I wish we flat out just had more effective snacks and armor in this game, or even increase caps for snacks as well as armor, but it is what it is. Definitely still a good change than how it was before the update, where we didn't have this feature at all. And then we also have office and nightclub garage changes to the UI when you try and get a vehicle through the mechanic. This is going to reduce clutter a little bit. You can navigate the menus easier for your office and nightclub garages with different submenus, and with these submenus now there's definitely a little bit more of an intuitive access to request one of your vehicles. Again, not a massive change, but it's definitely a small one that I think for me makes a big enough difference, and I wanted to point it out. Now with those 7 out of the way, let's jump into all of the other hidden changes and secret fixes with Rockstar's new GTA Online bottom dollar bounties DLC update. With GTA Plus and the Vinewood Club app, I think we have a crazy pay to win feature here. You can now claim the earnings from your own business safes remotely. This is of course a really good feature, and players including myself are upset that this isn't available for everyone in the game, but it is what it is. Rockstar right now is trying to get people to pay for GTA Plus, and this should be a feature available to the entire player base, but Rockstar has locked it behind GTA Plus. In addition to that, purchasing ammo without paying a convenience charge, and we also have requesting and purchasing car club vehicles that have been moved to this app, and these are basically new accesses with the new phone app, and you are granted a range of those features we just talked about. In addition to that, we also have the Vinewood Car Club Garage and Vehicle Workshop, so you get this vehicle workshop that's now been added to the garage, and this is going to allow you to modify your stored vehicles at an exclusive 10% discount, similar to the auto shop, but of course now it's with GTA Plus. We have some new economy updates like I was talking about before. Rockstar has adjusted the money payout rates for the following content: Super Yacht Life missions, Lamar's Lowriders, Operation Paper Trail from the Criminal Enterprises DLC, the Casino Story missions, Gerald's Last Play contact missions, the Madrazo Dispatch services, Premium Deluxe Repo work for Simeon, Project Overthrow missions from the San Andreas Mercenaries update last year, open wheel races, as well as taxi work, which we just talked about earlier here in this video. We have some new cosmetics like 150 plus pieces of male clothing and accessories, and over 200 pieces of female clothing and accessories. And then Rockstar also detailed some experience improvements, which I will very quickly go over right now. We discussed the fact that several biker and bunker businesses have had their sale missions and their timers increased by 50% when you launch them solo. But not only that, we have some button prompts upon failing a mission that have been updated. Drag races can now be played over a series of rounds. Multiple texts and emails are now sent to players that have been spaced out over longer periods of time, or that have just been removed outright. Players can now move an owned Avenger between their hangar and their facility storage via the interaction menu. The minimum player count required to launch the Assault on Cayo Perico mode has been increased from 4 to 8 players. We also have advanced options menus that have been added to the race lobby menu, containing many of the least used race options. We have the music locker strobe section of the interaction menu, and that's been moved to the pause menu. The rank requirement for purchasing properties has been removed. A new starting grid option has been added when playing races in a series, sorting players based on their positions in the previous race. A link to the community guidelines has been added to the welcome screen and other select alert screens, and the custom Arena War vehicle names are now only visible to the local player. And with that said, that is basically everything that changed with Rockstar's new GTA Online DLC, whether it was a buff, a nerf, a pay-to-win feature like we talked about with GTA Plus, or even just some new content. Of course, if you are looking for all of the other actual new DLC footage of all the cars, the missions, the new bail office, business, and property, I do have those videos and I will have them linked down in my description box below. This was talking more about the stealth changes and showcasing to you guys all of the other small little fixes and changes that Rockstar and the game itself don't directly tell you about when you log on after the update. And some of these I would say are definitely small little features and changes that you need to pay more attention to actually spot in game, because they aren't very obvious unless you're specifically looking out for them. But with that said, we're gonna wrap things up right here. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video here today, and if you did, hopefully I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the best GTA Online, Red Dead Online, and Rockstar Games content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing we post here on the channel. We consistently talk about updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks, and we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel daily. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube, and you're more than welcome to ask many questions on those platforms. You can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of my social media links can be found in the description down below. With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next GTA 5 Online video. Adios, amigos.